Welcome to the hole, Professor. It isn't much, but it's home.
How quaint.
We'll find you somewhere to stay. Oh, and just wait until you see my lab. Wait, I've got to clean up.
Thank you again, Miss Randazzo. I'm going to get myself situated. I'll see you both very soon.
As he totters off on his cane, the kid turns to me, her eyes sparkling like twin gemstones.
Thank you, Gia. I can't tell you what it means to me to have him back.
Enough to run off on me without a word.
Oh, of course. How thoughtless of me. I'm sorry, Gia. Did you get my note at least? Well, you did find me. I had no choice. I had to go. I thought he was dead. You understand, don't you?
I feel two spiteful wolves circling each other within me. The kid's lucid, pleading stare makes one thing clear. My next words will burrow straight into her heart. I better choose them carefully. Look, I get it. If I had a chance to see my Zio Alfonso again. But kid, you're in it now, understand? Whether you like it or not, you've got other people along with you on this ride. Nobody knows better than me why a girl has to look out for number one. But you're not alone anymore. None of us are. Nellie smiles, and my whole world lights up like fireworks.
Thank you, Gia. I really needed to hear that. I just never expected to hear it from you.
I got my moments. Nellie practically sprints off to rejoin her mentor, and I adjust my hat before setting off to visit our resident movie star. I give the door a few sharp knocks. Apollo's face and his expensive aftershave are there to greet me when it opens. He ushers me in.
Sophie's agitated. You heard her, Sam. The situation is becoming more unstable, and Mom's birthday is only days away. We have to move.
Sophie?
Sophie Seltzer, leader of the Does and our mole in Dreamland. Sharp as a switchblade, but thankfully she's with us. And she needs my help dealing with Mom now.
Look, I agree, Mom is a loose bolt who wants tightening. The Aetherians are the only thing holding that monstrosity up in the sky. And I can't say the labor talks are going great. But you saw the girls' demonstration. We can't ignore the well.
You know what I can't ignore? The pledge you and I made. You remember, don't you? The strong, the weak, the worthy, the meek, etc.
Should I come back later? Apollo and Sam deflate, letting their hackles down like a pair of chastised dogs.
Sorry, Gia. We tend to get carried away. How'd the meet with Killmeyer go?
I want to know more about this Sophie of yours.
Sure. You ever heard of a fellow called Dropper Brody?
You saying she was the one who finally got the drop on him?
Nothing gets by you, darling. Finnegan Drive, the Peony Parade, even the baseball debacle in 33, all Sophie. Every one of the city's sleazy urban legends involves her in one way or another. Suppose that's why I like her so much.
Sounds like she and I are cut from a similar cloth. But how can you trust her?
I'm running a rebel cell, Gia dear. How can I trust anyone? Everything eventually comes down to needs and wants. She wants Mom gone. So do we. For now, that's enough.
I want to know more about this situation with Marm. What's she up to exactly?
She's expanding her territory recklessly and amassing huge wealth for her birthday bash. At a great human cost.
Which is why we have to act quickly.
What do you mean? What human cost?
She's taking over entire islands and grafting them onto Dreamland. Blackmail, extortion, force, nothing's beneath her. We're not sure where she's getting the technology she uses, but whenever she absorbs an island, people die.
What kind of technology is Marm using?
It's far too powerful for simple black market refits. It has to cost a fortune to do what she's doing. Meaning it's specialized. The kind of kit nobody in the lowers has ever seen.
So where's she getting it from then?
Oh, that, Gia darling, is the million-dollar question. And you've got to help us answer it.
The meet with Killmeyer went well, I think. He says he can get the Aether core. But he's asking a king's ransom for it.
Damn. Maybe we ought to just steal it from him.
Killmeyer has connections with people that don't exist, who get supplies from places nobody can find. Marm may have embarrassed him, but that's only made him more dangerous. And we don't have a mole in his camp like we do with Marm.
What he's asking, it's ludicrous. I'm rich, darling, but I'm not that rich.
Are we going to ignore the girl's warning about the well?
People are dying, Sam. We can't just stand by.
So what do? Countless more lives will be lost if we don't consider the bigger picture. We need to reprioritize our plans.
I'll say this much for sure, gents. We don't just sit here flapping our gums about it. Apollo looks ready to lash out at me, but at a stern look from Iron Hand, he thinks better of it, and the pair cross their arms in unison. The squabble that had been building like a storm front above our heads dissipates. They fume silently for what feels like an eternity. I mull over their words, and the image of Marm wading through piles of gold, snatching up other baronies like a shark swimming through crowded waters. Then it hits me. Wait a second. You said Marm's loaded, right? Gold, treasure, the works? They nod at me in sync, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Let's steal it. They stare at me, then at one another, dumbfounded. In an instant, they snap into focus and lean in close as they weigh the risks in hushed, excited tones.
Not as crazy as it sounds, Sam. She might be onto something.
It's robbing Peter to pay Paul, but might be our best shot. Killmeyer's on the alert, but Marm's not. She's distracted. We can use that.
And she can't keep expanding without capital. We'd stop her dead in her tracks.
The girl can fix the well.
And Marm gets a sucker punch where it'll really hurt.
So, are we robbing a casino or what? All three of us burst out laughing, and Apollo embraces Sam as he whoops with excitement. Their passion is infectious, and Apollo's eyes are alight with purpose as he clasps his hands together.
All right. Here's the plan. 1, I'll hook Gia up with Sophie. They can coordinate and figure out how to access Marm's vault inside the Pandemonium Casino.
2, we stage a distraction, grab the loot, and get out.
And finally, 3, you meet with Killmeyer again and get that Aether core.
Well, what are we just standing around for? Let's get to work.
Look what the cat dragged in.
Now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever heard you say anything positive about Dreamland.
That's because there's not much to say. Sure, they're not yanking up every able-bodied citizen for their war. Sure, they won't lock you up for having a bottle of booze. But they're cutthroats. Money's everything over there. They don't care who you have to step on to get it. So as long as you have enough scratch.
I'd like to believe they're not all that heartless. And last I checked, cutthroats is how the rest of the city describes the whole.
Don't say I didn't warn you. And try not to blow your wallet at one of their tables. Drive safe.
Hello, darling. Arrivederci, darling.
Hello, Gia. All right.
Maybe a quick drink. Somewhere quiet to calm down before I head out again. I enter into the old tavern, one of the last vestiges of when this island had more radishes than people. Cress works at an old radio in the corner, and Thomas spit-shines a glass at the bar.
This damn thing won't work.
The man sits sanguine at a table, sipping something warm while reading a book. In French? Nothing like some light reading. Getting comfortable?
Why, yes. Yes, I am. Thank you, Miss Randazzo. I appreciate you asking.
Not what you're used to.
No, but it's I'm glad to be near Eleanor. And Thomas is quite the brilliant mixologist. Made me a tea cocktail I'd never even heard of.
He waits for some reply, perhaps some witty repartee about tea variety. I'm just going to have to disappoint. Well, if you need anything...
Don't worry, it's not your job to play babysitter. I can take care of myself. Thank you, though, for offering.
The old boatman hunches on his stool, kissing the wood and dancing cheek to cheek with an empty glass of amber. You all right there, Throg?
I was just...
He straightens up, eyes closed, resting his head on his shoulder while he puts together his next words.
I was just thinking.
Looked like more than that.
You caught me.
He resumes his position and begins to hum a sad old tune that reminds me of a place I'd never known.
How can I help?
Must be a shock, finding out your mentor's been alive all this time. If it were Zio, I still wouldn't believe it.
I really thought he was dead. He was caught in the explosion. There was debris everywhere, and there was blood. And he wasn't... If I'd stayed even a moment longer, maybe I would have realized he was still alive.
You couldn't have. You said it yourself. Dufresne was there, and he would have taken you away to who knows where. Would that have done Gardner any good? My assurance is water to a sunflower mid-wilt. She perks back to her usual sunny demeanor.
You're right. I think he understands. When I found him, you know what he did? He said he was so relieved that I was safe. It was the most emotional I've ever seen him.
You and Gardner seem pretty close. If I didn't know any better, I might have pegged him as your dad or uncle.
He isn't. I mean, we're close, but it's not like that. Except... he helped look after me when I came to the Heights. The other scientists helped, but we were colleagues. Alistair was there for me through my move, and my doctorate, and even my birthdays.
What about your folks? You lose contact with them when you moved upstairs?
It's not that I can't contact them. I'm just not sure we'd have much to talk about, or if they'd want me to bother them.
Not the best relationship with them, huh?
It's complicated. Mother and father love me, but I'm not sure they always know what to do with me. Sometimes it's like I'm speaking Latin and they're speaking Greek. But when an opportunity to go to the Heights was announced, they still supported me, even if it meant they'd have to let me go.
I know you can't finish Daisy until we get you that core, but it's hard to picture you sitting around sipping coffee and reading a book while you wait.
Of course not, silly. There's still too much left to do. There's construction of the device, obviously, and I'm waiting for Professor Gardner's peer review to ensure I haven't missed anything. Oh, and I need to install the new materials. I'd initially improvised from what I could find, but Professor Gardner put Tiana in contact with his suppliers. It'll increase Daisy's range and stability significantly.
Sounds like a full plate. Scheduling any room for sleep in there, Professor?
Oh, well, it'll be very busy, but it's nothing I can't handle. We're on a tight schedule, and we're finally making progress. A few weeks of extra work never hurt. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
Back so soon. You used to work for Marm, right? How'd you end up in Dreamland? Tiana's elegant face splits, my question hitting her like a splotch of ink on pristine paper.
Everyone knows the stories. Marm's rogue gallery of super criminals. Her trade school and doze. For a young woman left with nothing, Dreamland was a piece of driftwood at sea. Tetka found me young, alone, and afraid. She saw potential, and I was eager to learn. It was, how they say, meant to be.
So why'd you leave? Sure, you've got a nice operation, but it couldn't have been easy at the start. Marm's doze would have had you set for life. Might have even been in the running to be Marm's heir.
And what of you? Your reputation may not be as clean now, but it wasn't always this way. Why did you never agree to be someone's pet smuggler?
I have no answer. None that she wouldn't know already, and she knows it.
Marm's does may be princesses of Dreamland, but they'll always be beholden to her first. It was a price I could not, would not pay. A feeling you're no doubt familiar with. Do widzenia.
Damn thing won't work.
She gives the radio a lovingly spiteful kick, jostling a box of tools and spare parts next to it. Finally, after several more expletives, the radio springs to life.
It's the bottom of the eighth. The Metromaniacs have the New England rails on the ropes. If Cookie Anderson can strike out one more...
Cress, covered in sweat, sits down on the floor and leans her head against the radio, listening intently.
It's still going, and Cookie's pitching still. I bet you $5 that he walks the next bat.
Cress gives a small smile and rolls her head to face Gardner.
I'll take that bet, old man. It's your money to lose.
And it's a strikeout. Cookie Anderson sends us into the ninth. If the Maniacs can hold on, they might have a shot at the World Series.
That's unfortunate. Looks like I owe you. But if you're still confident, how about another friendly wager? My rails against your Maniacs. I bet we come back and win it all.
Down one, with Butters Dickinson up next. Hope you brought more than that fancy suit of yours, Gia. Want in? Easy money.
You just love the Rails because they always win. True fans don't need wins to support their team.
The Maniacs also win, Gia. They're gonna win tonight.
Your loyalty is admirable, but in the end, the result will be the same.
And without a single base gained by the Maniacs in the top of the ninth, the Rails are only down by one, and it's up to Fatty McDaniels to win it for the Rails here in the bottom. Sweetbread Bailey is on third.
Now, I'd hate to punish a fellow fan over team loyalty. If you want to pull out now, I'll let you out of the bet. We can chalk this all up as a fun little game. Nothing more.
Do we look like fake fans? Fight and die!
Fight and die.
And it's going, gone! Fatty McDaniels has done it! And Bailey comes home. Ladies and gentlemen, what a comeback! And here comes Fatty now.
Gardner looks quite pleased with himself as he nuzzles back into the pages of his book.
Sorry, girls. It was inevitable.
I've got the other shipment coming in soon, but it will be later than you wanted.
Come on. Everything is late here in the hole. Why do you think I'm planning on dying here? I better get a couple more years at least.
Thomas, I will get you your spirits before the end of the week.
Perfect!
I don't think I would have survived Nellie without an inoculation shot from Thomas. Years of knowing the man, I don't think I've ever seen that grin of his drop.
Ah, Gia, you're back! My oh my, why the long face? I've got something for you that'll be perfect.
He slides me a drink of something bitter and earthy with a side of peanuts. Dreamland is a winding jumble of golden bands of light, its islands thrown together like an overflowing jewelry box. As I come out a tunnel, yellow and black shadows dive into my rear view.
Hey sis, can you do us a solid?
Depends on the ask.
See Lucy over here? She just graduated, so we're taking her out to celebrate. Gotta help her earn her stripes now that she's running with the big girls. You look like you can take a hit. Mind if she wails on you a bit?
I'll drive you off the road if you try.
Oh, goody. Come on, Lucy.
That was too close for comfort. This place is falling apart, fast. not my finest hour.
Spoil sport.
Pandemonium is the beating heart of human desire in the lowers. But while it promises the world, it'll take even more in return. Hopefully, Sophie's help doesn't come with the same set of strings.
Gia, I'ma go stay with the cars. I'll meet you when you're done.
Why? Sophie's the one who wanted to meet.
She wants to meet you. I know all about Dreamland. They don't like rats on their marble floors. I walk in with you. They'll throw you out on your ass right next to mine.
I glance at the security guards by the door, already watching us intently. Their fiery eyes clash against Cress's watery blues. All right, sit tight. I'll be back soon.
Be careful, Gia. You can't trust those sparkly vultures.
The fountains outside Pandemonium are a gaudy display. In a place like the Lowers, where ordinary people struggle to get clean water, these spew torrents of the stuff over a pool of filthy coins. A bright spot catches my eye and my hands dart into the water, emerging with a sparkling diamond engagement ring. I'm guessing this fountain didn't bring the wearer the luck they were hoping for. I slide the diamond into my pocket. If finding a penny brings good fortune, picking a diamond out of a fountain must mean Lady Luck owes me a favor. The fountain's flush with enough coin to tempt any slots addict into taking a dip. I watch a twitchy-handed woman gaze longingly at its waters, under the security's watchful eye. Zio used to say, scrimp and save every advantage you can get for a rainy day. I rub a coin for luck and add it to the pool of spent wishes.
Hello, my friend. Test your hands in a game of nimbleness and daring. The name of the game is Snapdragon. All you gotta do is snatch a raisin from the jaws of the flaming brandy, and you win a prize.
What the hell? Deal me in. The dealer lights the glass. Blue and orange flames leap along the brim, but its looks are scarier than its bite. The flames only lick my palms as I pull free a warm and slightly sweetened raisin.
Congratulations! Say, you seem like a bold lady. If you like that, there's plenty more coming, courtesy of Soap Jackson.
Soap? Marm knows someone else is running a racket on her doorstep?
No, Soap would never. She invited him to host her birthday bash, and it's not a Soap Jackson party if everyone's not having a ring-a-ding time.
Oh my, 68. I wish I could be as active as Marm at that age. Did you know she still makes all her weekly appearances? Why, I hear she'll be present at the...
Oh, sorry, miss. Only one play per person. You'll have to wait for Marm's birthday, or stop by Soap's for more.
Bright lights, loud sounds, potent smells. Pandemonium is as much a fortress as it is a casino, surviving even the fire that charred it to the bone. Marm simply rebuilt it, as big and gaudy as ever. It's a siren call to every sucker, but I don't make it 3 steps forward before I'm accosted.
Miss Giovanna, Miss Sulzer sends her warmest welcome. She's expecting you at her personal table on the 2nd floor.
Thanks, pal. I'll head up in a sec.
Oh, before you proceed upstairs, Miss Giovanna, we're accepting presents from Magdalene Weiss to celebrate her birthday. A gift is highly encouraged if one intends to use our facilities.
Not even the concierge's stone-cut face can hide the faintest ugly crack as he looks me over, but I've dealt with harder stiffs at the glass cage. I'll see what I can rustle up on short notice. Crowds of somebodies loiter about, decked out in their finest for a chance to lose their shirts. Dreamland takes in every bored thrill-seeker, but Pandemonium gets the deepest pockets. The effigy of Magdalene Marm Weiss graces me with her life story on a golden plaque. Orphan to Baron. Not a line dedicated to any of the dark deeds done to get there, though. Pandemonium's guards play 2 faces, hospitality and pest control. A goon flashes compensation vouchers at a table while his partner marches off a rowdy schmuck towards a closed door. The closer I get, the itchier my palms. There are more trophies and firepower here than in a dragon's hoard. Watchful eyes from security guards and curious glances from guests follow me up. Whoever I am, if I can visit Pandemonium, I've got to be someone who can afford the birthday tax. The left hand makes a show of rifling my pockets while the right plunders the closest bauble. I lift up a necklace shiny enough to blind, hold for effect, and set it to rest in a gold box.
Pardon me, miss, but I saw your gift. I thought it was lovely. Too bad some of us don't have friends who are that generous.
The light past the doorway's blotted out by a hulking shadow. It gives me a wide grin.
Miss, Mom thanks you for your generosity.
He steps aside, and suddenly I'm a guest of honor. Staff members try to hit me with grins, stuff vouchers into my palms, and hustle me to open tables. I turn them down all for the 2nd floor.
Are you trying to insult me, Miss Sulzer?
A manila folder slaps the table like a white glove. The challenger locks eyes with the woman across from him, daring her to flinch or draw.
I've been doing business with Marm since before you could even stand up to her skirts. I've built half the streets you walk on, and you repay me by showing me this garbage.
We have other properties, of course. However, this offer is not an insult. Think of it as a token of Marm's esteem. A chance to get ahead of a gold rush. This property is awful, and some competitors have already backed out. What they've overlooked is that this is non-dock land. We're unable to add new islands to it, so we intend to add a beach.
A beach, eh? My wife and I recently visited one of the Uppers beaches to get away from the Coney Island mobs. But you know Uppers folk. They quibble about social propriety, but we can't here.
You seem quite passionate. How would you see a beach, then, for honest locals like us? Not the tourists. Giovanna! It's been an age!
She beams at me with a swell of sentimentality. Before I can process it, she rises and sweeps me into a hug like we're long-lost sisters.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you. But I'm afraid you're early. I told you, open bidding for Steeple Boardwalk doesn't begin until tomorrow.
What? She's bidding too.
She is. Giovanna's new money. A change of pace from the usual competitors. What was it you wanted the boardwalk for again? You made it sound quite ambitious.
I was thinking I'd cover the whole square in lights. Maybe build a Ferris wheel and run some air shows. Hire some stunt flyers from the Uppers to run shows daily.
Well, well. Good luck, because you won't be doing that on Steeple. Miss Seltzer, I've made up my mind. Send the paperwork to my people for review.
He leaves the table with a victorious smile and a head full of plans. But his smile's got nothing on Sophie's.
Well done. Thank you, darling. That man has been exhausting to deal with.
Uh-huh. Any truth to this gold rush?
No more than anywhere else. It will be beautiful once he cleans up the trash and patches the cracks. And the locals are nice. If you pay well enough.
And when he finds out it's not what you sold him on?
People who spend that kind of money never want to believe they've made a bad deal. He'll find every way to justify it to himself with barely a word from me.
She hooks my arm in hers and leads me to the table. Along the way, I spot her enforcer by the stairs, and black and gold-clad staff milling about the floor. Not worried about eavesdroppers?
This is my table, which makes it the house's table. Anyone who's fond of their ears will give us privacy, or learn to live without one.
All right, enough of the pleasantries. Apollo said you'd know how to get into Marm's vault.
Yes, I'm sure our tall, dark, and fiery-tempered friend has told you all about me. But I've never met you.
That's my line. You're Marm's right-hand woman. How do I know you aren't looking to double-cross us and get a free ticket to the top?
Because, quite simply, there are far less complicated ways to destroy the underground and take my place in Dreamland than a Machiavellian heist.
She gathers the cards, shuffling them as easily as she breathed.
Do you play Kill the King?
I've played a few rounds. Why?
Just a friendly game. You can learn a lot about a person from how they play.
And what's this friendly game going to cost?
How about a secret? Lusa shares something they've never told anyone else. We deal in a lot of currencies in Dreamland, but few are as valuable as information.
What rules are we using?
Crown reversal, to keep things simple. Every round, we pick a card to duel. Queen beats king, jack beats queen. Numbers that add up to 10 or more beat jack, and aces beat everyone except the king. First woman to 10 wins.
You said you learn a lot about someone from how they play.
You see, an aggressive player might be risk-friendly, while a defensive player only makes safe deals. The most pleasant person might have a horrible temper while under stress. Or they simply prefer number cards, like me.
Hold up. If we're playing, I want a fresh deck.
A new deck? Really, Giovanna? Do you distrust me that much already?
Would you trust you? She inhales softly, rolling her eyes playfully while she signals a staff member. The decks are swapped, and a shuffled hand is passed across the table. We trade blows across a polished table. King versus king, numbers versus queen, numbers versus numbers.
I thought Eli's killer would be a little taller.
Same to you. Apollo said he had a mole. Wasn't expecting Marm's second. We peer over our cards. Sophie's poker face is as calm as a lake. I see if I can make ripples. Jack of spades. Sophie gracefully hands me a queen. What's your angle? You aren't just Marm's second, you saved her life.
You sound suspicious.
Because it doesn't add up. A fire nearly takes Marm out with her casino. They don't catch the culprit, but they see you pulling Marm to safety. A few weeks later, she names you her heir. We slide our cards forward, locking edges. From where I'm standing, you're either throwing away a comfy life, or you're planning an upgrade.
Oh, which one I want is no secret. I want what the Underground wants.
Her card scratches my glove as we flip. Ace takes numbers.
You know, I played Mr. Valentine in that very chair. He was Mom's favorite gentleman criminal and excellent at cards.
Excellent at getting himself shot, too.
But the madrigals weren't to your taste? I hear they made out quite well after a run-in with 8-Shot. So well, they've stopped taking work from us to focus on a new venture.
Her 7 and 10 mob my jack. I watch her fingers worry along the edges of a card. 1 jack's left. How many aces and kings?
Your history. Valentine, Eli. I wonder, what does 8-Shot Mondazzo want with Dreamland? Are you looking to add another Baron to your dashboard?
Look, Sophie. Do I look like a bloodthirsty sadist to you? I'm a smuggler. I'm not here for some vendetta. I'm just a gal looking to get paid. I take a chance on King of Clubs. She clubs me with a queen. A 7 and a 4. I take her jack and add a point to my pile. You want to trade reps? Let's start with yours. The Benedict Casino, the Juno Silk Heist, the disappearance of Dropper Brody. Any of that true?
Now. No one's ever proven that Dropper and I have even been in the same room.
Ace and King of Hearts. I hand her my ace. We continue firing cards at each other. Sophie shoots down my card and the next, building a tidy sum of points on her side of the table. A few more hands like this and she'll sweep. Zio Alfonso never played an honest game in his life, and I see Sophie holding her cards the same way he did. 2 cards layered flush against each other. Your hand's looking a little stacked. Grab an extra card?
Oh, well, look at that. It must have happened during our last hand.
Uh-huh. Your casino's gotta have rules for that. Forfeit or penalty?
Since we're close to the end, let's call it a penalty and strike a point from my pile. Shall we?
1 point's good enough to tip the board. Luck comes back to my side of the table. For every hand she grabs, I take back 2, narrowing the gap. We throw down our final cards. My queen kills her king.
Well, beautiful game, darling. As much as it pains me to admit it. Now then, shall we settle up? What secret of mine do you wish to know?
Tell me about the Pandemonium fire.
I thought we agreed to ask something we've never told anyone else. Everyone knows about the fire. I can even lend you the book Marm commissioned about it.
Maybe, but I doubt you've ever given anyone a straight answer. You wanted to be heir. Did you want it bad enough to torch the place?
Oh, Giovanna. Of course I wanted to be heir. We all did. But it's difficult to think about a title when you're trapped inside a burning building. When everything's falling apart, you only think about what you can save. I was simply in the right place at the right time to find Marm. If I only cared about becoming Baron, I would have ensured she stayed put, and told the others she named me her heir with her dying breath.
Anyway, if you're satisfied, maybe we can talk about the job. Starting with how we're getting to the vault.
Of course. We'll need information. Fortunately, everything we need is right below.
She waves a gloved hand over the railing, directing my gaze to the bustle below. No wonder she'd seen me coming. The whole floor's laid bare like pieces on a chessboard.
No one cares if you gawk. Everyone knows the house is always watching.
The view's dizzying. 1,000 sounds and images and characters play out. But before I can pick which one to follow, something snuffs them out. Hushed silence steals through Pandemonium, like a reaper through a dying town. Sophie, what's going on?
The queen of the house. You've arrived just in time to see how she works.
Every one of Marm's goons is wearing iron and muscle under pressed suits, but none of them make crowds part faster than the Dreamland doe walking the floor. I thought Pandemonium was yours.
It's Marm's. I simply manage it for her. She owns everything in Pandemonium, including every dear heart on payroll.
2 armies hired by cash and devotion. We're not leaving with Marm's money without a fight. Who's handling Marm's loot?
Matzi Brothers Moving Company. A local group. Marm has an exclusive contract with them to move items from the hall to the vault. One of the very few people allowed to lay even a finger on her wealth without a trip to the Underline.
The cart's barely enough to make a molehole in Marm's hoard. How are we going to clear out the whole vault? Part poisonous viper, part soothing vixen. Magdalene Weiss is an ancient dragon in the lowers. Beauty, elegance, and deadliness hold her above her age and the masses.
Hello, my darling guests. I trust you are all enjoying your stay. I walked through these halls, and do you know what I saw? Full pockets, smiles, eager for the chase, and then the rest of you.
The aged Baron's laugh is a silky rumble vibrating off cavernous walls.
Now, I ask you to pause your games for a little diversion. A game between myself and one of my beloved dolls. Elizabeth, say hello.
The young woman on the platform waves as she enters the arena. Sharp uniform, polished goggles, muscles raring for a fight. She jabs a finger at some sap at the slot machines.
Hey, you with the gross tie! Get your greasy paws off the level while Mom's talking. This is a prime entertainment.
Ah, you see how protective she is, and so confident. Some of you must already be familiar with her achievements. The Dreamland Hippodrome, the Schuster Cup, and of course, the surprise conquest of Belmont Castle.
It's a moment out of a greeting card. The elderly Baron's hand on her adopted daughter's shoulder. An indulgent smile on her face, but the borders are dark. Lizzie's shoulders tighten as she takes her seat. These card shows happen often? Or this a special occasion?
Both. You see, we all get a turn in that chair. It's about quality time with Marm and showing off to her guests. But Lizzie's in the hot seat. Castles was supposed to become another lieutenant's territory until Lizzie took it. And now Marm's in one of her moods.
What? She's mad the wrong doe took it? What does it matter who gets the job done? It's still Dreamland's banners going up.
The problem, Giovanna, is that Lizzie didn't get permission. Marm will call it triumph in the headlines, but she'll never allow Lizzie to get away with overstepping her. It sets a bad precedent.
Who would you put money on?
Are you asking me for a bet?
I couldn't afford your rate. I just want to know if your sister's got a shot.
Then I'll do you a favor and spare your wallet. No, not in the slightest.
The slow draw of cards. The Sato voices calling their bets. The friendly facade splits into bloodshed with their opening hands. First hand, Lizzie throws a valiant play. Marm slaps it down with ease. Second hand, Lizzie tries another angle. Marm cuts her off, carving through Lizzie's chips and pride. The doe's more prey than night. By the fifth hand, her hands weaken, from bold to timid. Fingers dance between cards indecisively. I can feel her desire to retreat from here.
Call or fold, girl?
I call.
I tear my eyes off them. I didn't come here to watch a beating. Sophie said the intel we need is below. All I gotta do is find it. Every patron holds their breath, but there's not a quiver of fear. Their ghoulish smiles spread, mouths slavering in anticipation. The crowd's a sea of bloodlust. I break them into individual numbers in my head. Too many bodies break between us, the vault and the exit. Pandemonium got any slow days?
It's near Mom's birthday, so no. The celebration is a weeks-long affair. We have tourists coming in from all over the world, and it's only going to get busier the closer we are to the big day.
So, we need to find a way to get them out of the way. The hall holds its breath for the final blow. A full house coming down on a meager high card.
Over already? My, what a game! Don't you agree, Elizabeth?
Sure was. You were amazing, Mom.
The crowd applauds, taken in by the heartwarming display. The bustle returns to the hall. Tables fill with smiles and vices, but Marm and Lizzie remain on the platform. Baron Magdalene Weiss turns her razor-sharp gaze towards the balcony. I'm caught, staring down the maw of the beast, but I'm not the intended target.
Excuse me, Giovanna. I need to see what Mom wants.
Think she's on to us?
I doubt it. If anyone checks my appointments, all they should see is I was meeting an old friend of no importance. On that note, please avoid drawing attention until I'm back.
She disappears with the flutter of her cape. Despite what she says, my eyes follow her down to the ground floor. Maybe I should listen in. If information's currency, I need every bit I can get. My silent steps follow Sophie's trail and come out near a stairwell. Nearby crowds have scattered, but Sophie smooths her cloak of armor and walks into the den.
Marm! Lizzie! Excellent game as always. Can I tempt either of you into a drink at the bar? On me, of course. Frida's developed a delicious new cocktail that does wonders as a refresher.
Ah, Sophia, you are too kind. How is someone to grow without constructive criticism, You watched our game. What did you think of Elizabeth's play towards the fifth hand?
I strain my ears and catch something that doesn't belong. I scramble back into the doorway, seconds before Doe and her lightly clacking heels pass by.
Well, Lizzie, simply put, you weren't aggressive enough.
Weren't aggressive enough? Are you going blind?
My eyes work quite well, which is why I saw what most of the hall did. You second-guessing your cards. You knew the rules of the day. You were told to sell a complete loss, but you nearly blew the show over a moment of ego.
Fantastic! You see? Even Sophia sees it. Oh, but don't look so sour. There's always room for improvement. Next time, you will not hesitate to follow the rules, yes?
No, Mom. It won't happen again.
Her face is hot enough to tint her goggle lenses red. She spits fire at the only target she has.
Thanks a lot, Princess.
She races off, slamming the doors behind her. It could have been an act of rage or a cry for help, but Marm's already dismissed her for her other daughter. All it takes is a gesture, and Sophie lends Marm her ear. All it takes are whispered words, and Sophie's whole body becomes a frozen lake. I'm left to wonder as I hurry back to my seat. A few minutes later, Sophie returns. Despite her calm face, her movements are choppy. Looked serious down there. What did Marm want?
Patrol. And it can't wait.
Sophie, you can't just take off. We weren't done talking.
Well, hurry up then. We'll chat on the road. Think of it as a guided tour.
So, where's this guided tour taking us?
Don't look so suspicious. We're simply making a quick visit to the downtown exchange. The place where, for the right price, everything your heart desires can be bought, sold, or bartered. Have you visited?
Not since my 21st birthday.
My. That has been a while. You'll find it's changed a bit. Shall we?
Cress is where she said she'd be, sitting with the cars and scaring off snooty valets. I feel like I'm stepping onto an icy river as Cress and Sophie trade appraising looks.
Sophie?
Indeed. Miss Carter, correct? A pleasure to finally meet you, darling. I've heard so much about you.
Then you should already know I don't give away information as freely as whoever you're gossiping with.
I feel the warning crack beneath the ice. I thought we were in a hurry. Their problem?
Not at all. We're simply getting to know each other, aren't we?
Yeah, sure. I figure I've got your number.
We've got a tail.
Ah, that'll be one of my sisters. Someone wants to play.
What's the matter, Sophie? Too good for a goodbye now?
Lizzie, darling. I have a patrol to get to. And I thought I told you to enjoy a drink at the bar on me.
Oh, go suck on a lemon. I don't want your pity. I want to see how sharp you are. You and your friend.
Hey, I didn't sign up to be part of any grudge match.
I thought your game with Mom would have tired you out a little. But I was wrong. How about we settle things with a friendly wager? You can even pick the game.
Battle Royale. You and me. First car to stall out's a goose egg.
Beautiful, darling. Now, if only you could take some of that fire and put it towards your card play.
Can it, princess?
Monkey business.
not my finest hour. Do that again, and I'll shoot your repulsors out.
Not doing so well.
Oh, nuts to this! I'm out of here!
The other Doe lieutenant runs for it. We catch her breath and shake off enough adrenaline to run a marathon. You really pissed her off, huh?
I usually do. Lizzie wanted to play. It's nothing for you to worry your head about. She'll sulk about it for a day or two and then call me up for a lunch date.
Uh-huh. Got any other sisterly games I need to prep for?
Think of Lizzie as a taste of what we'll have to contend with during the heist. Believe it or not, she's one of the tamer does.
I round the corner and find myself in the mother of all traffic jams. I strain my neck to see what's causing the gridlock, and spot a number of Marm's finest have cordoned off the road ahead. I breathe out slowly to steady myself. I'm not carrying anything explicitly illegal, but there's enough heat around me right now that just getting recognized could be trouble. The car in front of me floats past the barricades, and I idle forward slowly, making an effort not to look jumpy. Evening, ma'am. If you don't mind my asking, what is this about?
Routine crowd control. A lot of money out on these streets tonight. Mom thinks trouble's bad for business, so she sent us out to make sure nobody gets any ideas.
Never can be too careful. Glad you're out here making sure everything's on the up and up.
Glad you think so. Means this won't be any more unpleasant than it has to be. Open your trunk so I can take a quick look and send you on your way.
Look, the fat cats who party in this part of town hire girls like me to help sneak their social lubricant past the checkpoints. Can you turn a blind eye for the sake of letting a girl keep her job? The enforcer looks implacable for a moment, as if trying to decide how full of crap I am. Then she sighs.
You get caught by one of the others, you better not mention this. I want to keep my job too.
Not a word, sister. Silence is golden. Folks say if it exists, it's in downtown Exchange. The golden cavern shimmers under the light of 1,000 shops and stalls, manned by a fleet of vendors and back alley cons, and each pays a cut to Marm. Maybe that's why Sophie parks between the two shadiest alleys on the block without a wink of worry. I'm tempted to keep driving, but she waves me over.
Don't be so skittish, darling. Our car thieves have more discerning palates. The ones who don't will have their tastes swiftly corrected.
It's not only criminals giving Sophie and her car a wide berth. One look at her feathered cap and I see passers-by pick another street. So what are we doing exactly? You bring me along to help you dangle some sap for their last penny?
Quite the suggestion, but no. We'll be checking in with the community, collecting monthly dues, fielding complaints, the usual.
That's it?
Not every patrol's a trip to the Underline. Oh, but I do have to run an errand for Marm. Don't worry about the details. We'll get to it later.
Why wait? We've got a minute.
Goodness, Giovanna. Are you always this hot-blooded and impatient?
Only when I'm being jerked around. How do I know your memory won't go foggy later?
You're right. It is quite easy to forget things. Tell me, do you remember why I invited you to Dreamland?
To get information.
Correct. So I suggest you fill your head with intel instead of Marm's whims. We'll start with this neighborhood. Grimscram's owner wants a word. Urshel and Sons has dues, and Air Fisher at the Flying Ace owes me information. How's your acting?
I've talked my way through more than a few scraps.
Excellent.
Why? Soph, why? People talk about the city's metaphorical underbelly, but this is the real thing. A hidden enclave where Dreamland's vital organs pulse with life. They say the exchange started as a smuggler's market. One of Marm's first acts as Baron was to transform it into a proper community. Can't say it didn't pay off. These crates are black market fare. They've had all their shipping and customs markers removed. They're also reinforced with metal brackets and dovetail joints to protect something valuable.
Look what the cat dragged in.
Show me what you've got.
We have a little bit of everything. I hope you're satisfied.
The food stall is a casket. Fish lie out haphazardly, organized by stages of rot. And the shopkeep sits with his book like a mortician in wait of mourners.
Welcome. Tell me, do you know what the catch of the day is?
I scan his setup. Too obvious not to be a front. The walls made of trick paneling, the counter feels hollow when I lean on it, and nothing here is worth his pricey foreign timepiece. Downtown Exchange allows anything with a price tag, so why does he need to hide his stock? How about something off menu?
Oh? I'll see what's in the back.
Unfortunately, Herr Fisher, we're not here to shop. Mom has a favor. You see, she loved that little piece you recommended. Do you have any more?
That time already, Miss Seltzer?
I'm afraid so.
Fisher thumbs his book, as though the answers to her questions are hiding in its pages.
There's been a new graffiti artist. Some of the shops started complaining. You best start there.
Sophie simply waves and heads out, pleasant, efficient, and satisfied with a transaction known to only them. I turn the pieces through my head as we round the corner. Is this about that errand Marm has you running?
Would it matter if it was?
That's what I want to know. What's that time again?
If you must know, it's community management. Marm's schools may attract the brightest future rogues in the barony, but she worries about the street children, the ones we don't control.
So what? We're going to lean on a bunch of street kids because Marm's paranoid?
Of course not. They're too short. We'll check in, make sure they're following the rules, and, if needed, educate. No back-wrenching required. Now then, let's go find our graffiti artist.
Accompanied by the murmur of crowds and the bustle of the exchange, the rumbling could have been a percussion band next door, if it hadn't started to roar.
Tremor.
Sophie pulls me under a shop as the world rolls. I grab the doorframe before the ground throws me into a wall. Shattered windows, straining metal plates, roars from below that threaten to swallow us whole. And then it's over. The door creaks, signaling the return of bustling streets. I see resignation, dismay, and anger, but not a look of surprise. Soph, what the hell's going on? Since when does Dreamland get island tremors?
More recently. Ever since Marm... Oh, darling, your jaw. Relax. There won't be another one so soon.
Lines of children scroll near a broken window. How's that for symbolism?
Hi, how can I... Ah, Miss Sulzer! I mean, hello. I have this month's payment here. Already counted it twice. Receipts included.
Mr. Herschel, hello. And thank you so much, darling. I can always count on you to be organized.
Gosh. Thank you, Miss Sulzer.
Are you occupied?
No. Anything for the dose.
Excellent. Mr. Herschel, this is Giovanna, one of my new bookkeepers. I like to get her familiar with our regular revenue streams. Could we borrow your record book?
You're not going to mark it up or anything, are you?
Just a quick check and I'll get out of your hair. He hands me a leather-bound book. Organized is right. The numbers go back years. detailing a business that's gone from in the black to borderline red in the last year. A lot more money's going out than in. Business all right, Mr. Herschel?
Business has been consistent. We're a generational store, so I inherited most of our customers, but it's wartime and Marm's birthday, so costs are understandably increased. Tax increases are expected this time of year, and they say it'll go back down after the celebrations. Right, Miss Sulzer?
We'll know soon. For now, don't worry your head over it. At least until after Marm's birthday.
I thought Marm's big day was supposed to be a barony-wide celebration.
Everyone has to contribute a little, or a lot.
The price of being a tourism barony, I'm afraid. But I do hope you're getting something in return, Mr. Herschel.
Right, we get peak visitors for a month, and so that helps float the books for the rest of the year. It's been an expensive year, but it'll balance out, right, Miss Sulzer?
Eventually, darling.
Something wrong? You seem on edge.
What? Am I? I mean, why would I be nervous? I'm always happy to help the does.
That's a relief. Because I would hate if my bookkeeper or I were to have made you uncomfortable in any way.
No, Miss Sulzer, you and your associate are fine. You've been pleasant, reasonable people.
Thank you, and you're very sweet. Oh, I need something for the paperwork. Who collected last month's dues? Was it Mary? Eliza?
Pearl? She's a disciplined woman, always has a firm grasp on the numbers.
Ah, of course. Giovanna, remember that name, please. I'm sure you'll see more of her work eventually.
Everything's in order.
Oh, good. Happy to be of service.
Despite the reprieve, he keeps throwing quick glances Sophie's way. His mouth is a wavering line, from open to closed, fighting between speaking his mind and risking his head. He's scared, but it wasn't Soph he was watching like a hawk. There's something else on this shivering pup's mind. Maybe he was hiding something? Something that wasn't on the books.
Where are you going? Please?
Something on your mind? You don't need to worry. I've already said you're clean. I trace my hand over piles of baubles and goods, my eyes tracing the pipes on the ceiling. But what's this? This doesn't seem to lead to anything.
Giovanna, the books are good.
Sophie's tone said more than her words. Was she hiding something too? Maybe I play with her for a change. I must have been mistaken, don't you think, Mr. Herschel? Now, what were you saying before?
Yes. Miss Sulzer, I've heard rumors about an inventory requisition. Is it true?
Oh, someone has been asking around, haven't they, Mr. Herschel? If you're aware of that much, you should know that Marm's birthday is a special occasion. She's turning 68 after all.
But that'll take months of my stock. I won't have.
Of course you can't. But Marm is generous. She knows you've been having trouble with certain business partners.
He could have found a new life as a bleached bedsheet in the Raymond district back in White Street if he'd wanted.
I...
Don't worry, Mr. Herschel. Marm is willing to provide you contacts with new suppliers at a significant discount in exchange for your services. Your business with the Romanians is no longer necessary.
Oh, Miss Holzer. Thank you so much.
What are you staring at? You... Miss Holzer. I mean, hello.
Hello to you too, darling.
Miss Saucer, hello. Come in, come in. And who's this? Can I get you anything, doll? We got a new radiator and some fresh bits straight from the burrows.
Lily, darling. This is Giovanna. She's here to take a census of the neighborhood.
Pleasure. We're getting numbers for neighborhood planning. I need your name, age, and occupation.
Oh, well, of course you are. The neighborhood's been a little, how to put it, chaotic lately. But don't let me distract you. Name, Lily Lopez. Occupation, scrap dealer, age. You know what, I'll just write that down.
Thanks. While you're at it, maybe you can fill me in about what's going on around here.
Giovanna's a transfer. Quick as a whip with a pen, but a little out of touch with the ground floor.
Sure thing. So, first thing you should know, write in pencil because Dreamland's expanding fast. Lots of renovations, lots of new islands, lots of people moving in and out. Business is booming.
Looks like you've been in the scrap game for a while.
Since I was knee-high. I've tried a few places, hopped a few islands, a stint with the scrappers, but Dreamland always calls me back.
Thought most scrap dealers preferred setting up in White Street.
Don't go comparing me to those vultures. They got no sense of perspective. You could hand them a nugget of gold, and they'd melt it into bullets. Besides, White Street's not attracting anyone these days. Not after old Eli took the final ferry trip downstairs.
See, you got a full stack of orders. Must be doing pretty well for yourself.
I can barely keep up with the demand. New islands are like sandboxes. Every investor can't wait to plant their mark, and they're all demanding rush orders on parts. And don't get me started on the cleanup. You think they're the ones throwing on gloves and digging through the debris?
Thanks. Anything else I should know?
Well, maybe less for you, and more for Miss Salsa? How do I put this?
Come now, Lily. Don't be shy. You said on the phone you had a few concerns. Something you couldn't leave with my office?
Sure. It's just, Miss Salsa, you've got Mom's ear. Could you maybe tell her to slow down a little? All this expansion is stressing folks out. You know how it is. Not everyone's got somewhere to go.
I'm well aware. How about this? Send me an estimate of how many are missing a roof over their heads, and I'll see what I can do.
Our conversation ends with a scream. Behind us, a horrified customer mops at their stained front. The culprit, a kid, doubles over, heaving her apologies.
I'm sorry. I couldn't hold it.
Oh, my stars! Here, let's get you cleaned up.
In the mad scramble to save the customer's outfit and goodwill, The shopkeep's got no time for a sickly child. Exactly what the girl wanted. She slips out, wallet in hand.
Let's take a detour, shall we? I'd like to follow up with that one.
And do what? Cuff her for pickpocketing?
Do I look like I carry a pair? But if it'll put your mind at ease, I don't plan on spiriting anyone away against their will. I just want to talk.
Lines of children scroll near a broken window. The artist is long gone. The girl's a wisp, floating from window to window, as though she'd blow away at the slightest breeze. Finally, she finds rest at an unattended crate she unceremoniously marks with an X. An easy target.
Hello, darling.
Despite a welcome as inviting as a river in summer, the girl plunges into terror. Her hollow eyes well with the knowledge she's been caught red-handed. Hey, easy, kid. No one's in trouble. You were just drawing a picture.
Yes?
This looks like an interesting work in progress. Were you going to sign it, Miss
Winnie?
A pleasure to meet you, Miss Winnie. What were you drawing before we interrupted?
It's for my friends.
By yourself? They putting you up to something?
No, not they're good friends. They helped me. I can't do anything for them except draw.
She's either got angels looking out for her, or the devil's looking for an easy mark. I lean down to her level. Okay, I believe you. But remember something. Friends don't let friends get pinched. She holds my gaze, still and silent. However, she nods without a tremor. A word of advice, kid. One marks a coincidence. The same one over and over will get you caught. You want to keep drawing? Change it up. Use different shapes or colors or make a code. With only a nod, the wisp drifts off to other haunting grounds.
That was sweet. See a little of yourself in her?
Something like that. You learn to scrape by in the burrows, too. The days were harsh enough with trash raining down on us, but at least we had family to rely on. I only hope Winnie's friends are worth the trust. I catch sight of a mess of blonde hair. She bounds towards a narrow lane, steps as soft and quick as an alley cat. But Sophie's already one step ahead. The girl skitters back, all but hissing.
Let me go! I'll scream. I mean it.
Easy, kid. We just want to talk.
I didn't do anything. You're just picking on a sick kid.
You look pretty good for someone puking her guts out.
Yeah, because I puked all the bad stuff out.
The girl must have hidden the wallet in a hurry. Her foot bounces, likely chafing from the wallet flap wedged between her ankle and shoe buckle. Hey, kid, your shoe's untied.
No, it's not. I mean, thank you, miss.
She's too obvious, too quick to pretend she's got nothing to hide. Sophie still waits for her to finish pushing the wallet out of sight.
Hello, darling. Sorry about the scare, Miss...
Jenna Campbell.
Well, Jenna, I thought I saw a stain on your shoe, but I believe I was mistaken. Don't you agree?
Aha! Thank you, Miss Salter.
So, that's it? You chase her down, exchange a few words, and send her off with a pat on her head?
Yes. We investigated a problem, and I determined it wasn't worth further action. Besides, that barely had enough to last a day. Well, that takes care of the neighborhood. Enjoying the sights?
It's something, I'll give you that much.
Good, because our next stop is less scenic. It's a walk, but I'm sure you'll manage.
Another shop?
The errand. Also, it's off the beaten path, so try to keep your wallet stowed away.
She leads me through a gaping, darkened opening going down. Each step turns golden light into sickly yellow. Narrowing corridors close around us, and steel plating becomes brittle under our feet. My foot goes through a step. I scream. Visions of falling tens of feet below play through my head until Sophie catches me.
Careful, darling. The island's still settling.
Yeah, I figured. This place is falling apart.
It is, isn't it? Anyway, watch your step. There might be more. Oh, and if you hear anything from above, move.
Finally, we hit rock bottom. We're surrounded by warped walls and lost dreams. The neighborhood's a crushed ceramic, swept out of sight and tiptoed around by the few who remain. Madonna, what happened here? I haven't been in Dreamland in a while, but I don't remember there being this many street kids, or this much decay.
Well, Giovanna, when most of the neighborhood moves out, that leaves vacancies. It's reasonably safe if you have nowhere else. Just mind the cracks.
What happened? She looks at me with as much sympathy as you'd give a child learning Santa doesn't exist before she directs my gaze upward.
Do you see the island to the left? Above the old grocer's. Imagine putting it flush against another island. Good. Now what if you slam them together?
She gives me time to piece it together. It's not a pretty puzzle. You said you were checking in with the street kids. Meeting with anyone in particular?
Not yet. For now, we observe. Don't want to scare the little dears.
Something carved through the upper floors with the grace of a butcher, leaving everything from the neck down barely in one piece. I look down the hole and feel the world spin. It's an endless shaft of islands jutting in and out, ever downward with barely a hint of sky.
Miss Saltzer! Miss Saltzer! Are you recruiting for the school? Please, would you consider my niece? She isn't well, but she's smart and diligent. I can...
I'm sorry, Mr. Brown, but you know I can't. Marm's very particular about who she lets in.
Miss, are you with the Does? Could you put in a word for my niece? Please? She's only 9.
What? She not criminal enough for you? Or is it that she has family?
By the look of her, you know as well as I do that there's nothing there. Maybe a confidence woman with those eyes, but she doesn't need the trade schools for that. Marm only takes those who show promise, or who truly need an escape.
For a second, I'm back with my folks in Zio. They were arguing about me smuggling. Zio Alfonso argued I deserve my shot. I almost echo the words until Sophie shakes her head. Slight, but firm. Sorry, pal. Not my call. His head sinks, and he leaves without another word. A mess of wild hair and thrashing limbs hit the wall. Despite the older boy having inches on her to dangle the wallet, Jenna's got him treed.
Get off me, you ugly little harpy! You're clawing up my...
She rakes her nails deep into his fleshy forearm and he howls. His claws uncurl, dropping the wallet with a pitiful thud.
Freak! This is why no one wants you!
While he scampers off to lick his wounds, there's no triumph or joy. Angry tears trickle around the corners of Jenna's eyes as she retrieves her battered, flattened prize.
All of that fuss over pennies. I wouldn't be surprised if she's made an enemy for life.
Rather she end up a target for life instead? Sophie looks from Jenna to me with a slow, warm smile.
Honestly, she should have hit harder. The only way to make sure a pest stays down is by smashing them.
No, Winnie. You're supposed to trip, shoulder catch, then pull.
It's a classroom of 3. Based on her hand stuck in the other girl's pocket, Winnie's batting low marks.
Just
give up already. She's hopeless. No, she's not. Winnie found the open window. And unlike you, she can do numbers. Winnie, how much more do we need for today's haul?
5, 30, 40 cents.
You're always babying her. Who cares if she can count? If she can't steal, she's useless.
They're careless, cruel words spoken with the confidence that no one will argue back. However, Winnie's hands form tiny fists pressed firmly against her coat.
Ah, someone's angry. Tell me, how do you see that shaking out?
Sorry, are you asking me to bet on kids fighting?
It's just a question, darling. Not everything has to be so mercenary.
The kid's not stupid. Throwing the first punch looks bad, no matter how much they deserve it.
Quite unfairly, too. But blending in is the right play. After all, who would you prefer by your side? An even-tempered treasurer? Or a talentless, penniless bully?
Sophie's a piece of gold in a muddy river. Every street we walk, every urchin we talk to, leaves ripples of fear and hunger. Some shirk back, but too many tiny, starved faces follow our every move. Sophie looks back like she's picking cards at the table. When she stops, they scramble over dirt and limb to be a glint in her eye. Sophie, why aren't you telling me about this errand?
There's another step to community management. You see, checking in, enforcement, and education are all part of it. But we also find potential. Marm tells me we have an opening in the Does. And I owe her a recruit before the end of the day. From what I've seen, I believe Jenna or Winnie will do.
So that's it then? This whole guided tour was a front for snatching kids?
Don't be such a sanctimonious sap. You chose to tag along. You must have heard the stories. Or did you seriously believe everything we do involves a smile and a gun?
If I'm a sap, what does that make you? You might be with the underground, but you and Marm are cut from the same cloth. The temperature drops faster than a fall through the waters of Old Coney Island.
Gia, do you know what it's like to never feel full? To know you could cut every purse, sell every paper, shine every shoe, and still be poor in every way that matters? You want to feel righteous? Then you can decide. Who deserves a warm bed and a meal?
I take in the faces around me, each echoing a desperate yearning. They really want to be like her, but I know who it has to be. The one with hollow eyes that fill with every flutter of Sophie's cape. There are plenty of sharks on the street. If anyone needs the does in their corner, it's Winnie.
They will. Believe what you will about the does, but she will learn to stand on her own.
She approaches the girl. Winnie's caught mid-float, torn between flight and grounded confusion, until Sophie leans down with a smile and a casino chip.
Hello, Winnie. Would you like somewhere to stay tonight? There's a steeple in the old brewery district. Show this to the front, and they'll get you settled with a nice hot meal and a bed after they show you around. And if you stay, we can discuss schooling.
Winnie's pale face is a wordless cry of fear. Fear that this isn't real. fear of what happens if she takes that chip. But her hand still hovers over the token, unsure of what to do.
This isn't an order. It's simply an offer. Although I hope you say yes. The choice is yours.
The silence fills with something new. Winnie's frail fingers grab the chip like a freshly born soul reaching for the light.
Thank you.
Winnie's off, carried by hope and a ticket to a new life. Sophie's feet weigh like concrete heels, dragging her towards the open bar top.
Hey, lady. Want to see a magic trick? I can make a coin disappear before your eyes.
All right, here. Show me.
Thank you. You see your coin here? I'm going to say the magic words. Abracadabra, abracadabra. On the count of 3, this coin will disappear. 3, 2, 1.
He fulfills his promise with a bolt down the street, taking my coin with him.
Is it true? Winnie's gone?
Yeah. You two close?
Not really, but she was one of us. We look out for each other. No one else does. And you've seen her. She wasn't good. But she'll be okay, because she's going to be a doe. The Dreamland does rule the barony. No one lays a stinking hand on a doe, or yells at them, or takes from them.
Thank you, darling. It smells as wonderful as always. Here, your usual.
She hands the shopkeep a fat envelope, and he takes a walk. The bar's emptied of everyone except for the dough and 2 pieces of cake. She motions me toward an empty seat.
Here. Bee sting cake, the best in the lowers. The owner's been making it for years. At least as long as his deliveries arrive.
I take a bite. Caramelized almonds and vanilla cream linger on my tongue. A sweet balm to a bitter moment.
It's good, isn't it? I try to stop by every time I patrol Downtown Exchange. Takes the edge off.
For a while, the only things that pass between us are the soft clinking of dull cutlery on chipped porcelain and the scent of honey.
I don't enjoy it, you know.
Which part?
Recruitment. It may come as a surprise, but the leader of the does does have some inkling of what awaits our recruits.
She skewers an almond, still angry, but I doubt I'm the one who she wants to snap. Then why do it?
Because the Baron and her does make hard decisions every day. It's part of our charm. Along with the hope that if lost girls like us can make it, anyone can. After all, a doe might face a bullet, become a cutthroat, or perform unwanted tasks. But that's business. A little discomfort for an extra 10, 30, 60 years of life.
I feel a lull in her speech, a silent invite. Is she looking for validation or an alternative? Let's say you weren't a doe. Where would you go?
I'm not entirely sure. I've been a pickpocket since before I could walk.
Humor me. Right now, if you could be anywhere else, where would it be? She nudges an almond speck through a streak of cream.
You know, I've never seen a real beach. Coney Islands is so artificial. But I'd need something to keep myself busy once the novelty of sunshine and waves wore off.
My Zio could never sit still either. Always picked up a new hustle whenever he traveled.
A gentleman of culture. Wherever I'd be, it'd certainly be different.
The clinking stops. She stares deep into the empty plate like it's a scrying mirror.
You know, despite everything, I admire Marm. Whatever she is now, she'll always be the lost girl who climbed her way to the top of the lowers. And she brought us with her.
Then why'd you join the underground?
'Cause as brilliant as Marm is, she's always been hungry. We all are. But not all of us have the power to wreck our home while chasing a self-destructive whim.
She jabs an accusatory fork at the floor. A gaping wound whistles back at us, lined by debris and fresh cracks. Injuries that mirror the plaza's caved-in buildings and broken pillars. Marm caused that island tremor.
Indirectly, of course. But when you recklessly expand your territory past its limits, there are costs. And the costs are growing by the day.
Dreamland's the richest barony in the lowers. If anyone can afford a patch job, it's you.
Oh, we try. Think of Dreamland as a stack of spinning plates. Impressive, but prone to shattering. You see, Marm has a dream. She's always wanted to be the woman behind the biggest, wealthiest barony in the city. And it broke her up when she had to shelve it.
Not by choice, from the sounds of it.
No, it was island capacity. At least until someone gave her Aether powerful enough to support every island you could dream of. Marm saw her chance and declared us back in business.
Something rings familiar. A new, more powerful Aether. This new Aether, it happened to be red?
Ah, I see you've heard of it. Apollo warned me White Street has something similar. A new kind of Aether weapon?
Had. It blew up with Eli. She taps a delicate, expectant finger. I changed topics before she could ask me about a melted wreck of blood-stained metal. Something's always bothered me about White Street. How'd they get their hands on a souped-up piece of Aether tech anyway?
I assume they shared Marm's supplier, whoever they are.
Surprised Marm never told you.
Marm's frustratingly tight-lipped about her VIPs. But rest assured, if I knew who they were, they'd receive a personal tour of the Underline.
Why? You think they set Marm up?
An excellent question. What I do know is this. Marm would have retired a satisfied woman if someone had invaded her with the promise of one more island.
I've heard a lot of things about Marm, but stupid's never been one of them. What'd she get out of breaking her barony?
The chance to win one last gamble. How grand can she make Dreamland while she's still able?
Swell. So if she's playing for bragging rights, what'd she get if she loses?
Honestly, I doubt she thinks she can. But Marm is Marm. And she's never been one to call the game early.
All right. Let's say we steal Marm's money and stop her expansion. You still haven't said a word about what happens afterward.
Well, this is the lowers. Shooting the Baron and swapping them out with someone new is quite traditional.
Look, Sophie, I get it. You don't know me, but you either trust me enough to give me a straight answer, or you don't. My words put a wrinkle in her practiced spiel. For a moment, She looks just as unsure as I am.
And I'll give you this. No. If we succeed, I won't become Baron. My sisters would never stand for it, let alone the Underground or you. However, I have no intention of letting Dreamland become another White Street.
Okay. Thanks for the honesty.
Excellent. Now then, shall we go somewhere private to finish our earlier conversation? And I imagine our mutual friends will want to report.
Fine. I've got to stop back home anyway. What Sophie said hangs over my thoughts like a storm cloud. There's something more to this red Aether, and Nellie's been mum on the details ever since Eli's parade. I think it's time I got some answers. As I round the corner, a murky haze hangs in the air. Up ahead, there's a disabled vehicle hovering above the tarmac. A befuddled man in a soot-stained suit looks up from his perch over the open hood and flags me down.
Please, you've gotta help me get off the road. If Mom's thugs find me blocking a public street, they'll impound the car. And I've already got an outstanding debt with the house. I'll never get it out.
I size the poor guy up as best I can. I check out his hands. No calluses on his knuckles. No concealed gun spoiling the line of his suit. He's just a schmuck who needs help. I roll up my sleeves as I strut toward his open hood. I can tell right away that it's not a fire. He's had an Aether infuser installed to boost the cycling of his Aether coil, and it's leaking hot coolant. I remove the illegal modification from the casing and rip one of the suspenders from his ruined suit to temporarily bandage the valve. Got your problem right here. It's your Aether infuser. I'd fire your mechanic. Installing one of these isn't exactly simple, and it's easy to get taken for a ride if you're not careful. The smoke slowly clears as his car's repulsors return to full strength, and it hovers gently above the pavement.
Thank you. Losing this car would have been too deep a hole for me to ever crawl out of. You keep that doohickey. You obviously know what you're doing better than I do.